lot of spouses in a neurodiverse marriage will tend to use negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is a part of a learning method called operant conditioning. And the theory behind operant conditioning is that if you reinforce an action, it's more likely to occur. And if you punish an action, it's less likely to occur. Reinforcing an action would be like offering someone words of appreciation or a compliment in hopes that they would continue that behavior. An example of punishing an action would be to yell, scream, complain in hopes that your spouse would stop doing and saying the things that you want stopped. Has that really worked? Reinforcement can either be positive or negative, as can the behavior you're reinforcing. The important thing to remember here is that reinforcement encourages or discourages a specific behavior, whether it's good or bad. When you're engaged in negative reinforcement, you remove a negative stimulus to reinforce a behavior. For example, you probably use negative reinforcement to wake up in the morning by setting your alarm clock to go off at a certain time, and it buzzes, wakes you up and startles you, and you turn it off. Another example of negative reinforcement is used by car manufacturers, where when you don't put your seatbelt on, you get this annoying beep until you put your seatbelt on. So in both cases, you do the desired behavior. You get out of bed or you put your seatbelt on in order to remove the negative stimulus, which is an irritating, annoying, and sometimes startling noise. Now, here's the negative reinforcement traps. Your spouse may have used negative reinforcement on you. For example, your spouse wanted you to do a particular thing, and for whatever reason you did not do it. And so your spouse complained vehemently and repeatedly until you did it. And the reason that you did it was not because you wanted to do it, but you wanted to remove the annoying negative stimulus of complaining and criticism. Another example might be your spouse wanted you to avoid doing a particular thing, but you did that particular thing anyway. And so now the spouse shame throws and blame throws and chastises and gets parental, which is a negative stimulus that you want to get rid of. And so you stop doing the behavior that your spouse viewed as hurtful or destructive, etc. And then when you give in to your spouse's demands, that in turn is positive reinforcement for your spouse, because now he or she knows that all they have to do is complain, blame, shame, guilt trip, etc., and I win. But remember, I said this is a negative reinforcement trap, because the spouse that wins only wins temporarily, because the other spouse, in the meantime, is developing some deep-seated resentment that can often result in passive-aggressive revenge in the form of never wanting to cooperate. Some people call that pathological demand avoidance. So be careful using negative reinforcement, because it almost always backfires in the long run. In other words, you get what you want in the short run, but you pay too high of a price in the long run. Hey guys, this is Mark. Click on the join button underneath any of my videos, then click on members only videos, and then click on join. And for $9.99 a month, you'll have access to members only videos, which are excerpts from previous workshops I've conducted for NT partners, ASD partners, and the neurodiverse couple. New videos will be uploaded weekly.